We're going to talk to our good friend Mark Carman, covers the Bears for CHGO. Mark, good to have you on the show again. Thanks for joining us. How are things going in the world of Mark Carman?
Hey, Jake, thanks for having me. You know, things are great. Memorial Day weekend, brother's birthday tonight. I thought I just made a great purchase at Half Price Books, if you must know. Not the biggest spender over here, but that was a great add-on to the shirts.
Yeah, what do we buy?
So he's a big tennis guy, so I got him a Roger Federer book. I'm going to bet that he hasn't read it. I thought that was a good, who's not fired up if you're a tennis guy for a Federer book on top of a nice polo? I think that's a nice job by me.
I agree.
Well, that depends. Where's the polo from?
The polo, that came out of Dick's Sporting Goods, but I went to the high end of Dick's. I was in the Travis Matthew something else section.
We're a big spender over here.
Yeah,
that's why you had to go to Half Price Books after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was all that was left. This is, I work in podcasting. I work in media. We can't go too crazy here. But, I think I'm in remote Brother of the Year competition for this effort today. Multiple stops. I mean, come on.
Multiple stops on Memorial Day weekend. If that's not getting you the award, Carm, we'll do it. We'll have a riot. Let me be the first to congratulate you on your upcoming Brother of the Year award.
Thank you. And, when Randy Mercury reached out to me, I set an alarm for myself on Saturday for you guys just to make sure. I thought that was pretty good. And, I'm ready. This is
winning all around. You're just crushing it, Mark.
I'm growing up in my I won't say my age, mid-50s. Thank you. All right.
Bears,
yes.
You've been out at Hallis Hall this week. Tell us what's going down there.
So it's tricky, right? You don't want to overreact to OTAs. Some Bears fans are mad at me. So that's
no way. That never happens.
Yeah, no, that's a little too bad. But look, I have never, I've been covering the Bears off and on, mainly on, dating back to 2007, 2008 when I first started going out there. I've never seen a coach stop practice the way I saw Ben Johnson stop practice this week. Not to, completely oversell the guy, but it was stunning. He straight screamed at Cole Kmet for lining up incorrectly, who, by the way, rarely does anything wrong. So that made it even more stunning that he was going at Cole and, stopped the play, made him line up again and, do it right. And Eric Bieniemy, oh my! That guy is the Bears running backs coach, who everybody knows the name, and longtime OC, never got the chance to be a head coach. Now all of a sudden in Chicago as a running backs coach, he is. You can't miss him out there. The guy doesn't. He's fascinatingly entertaining, and very much in the face of all the running backs on the team to help them be their best. So it just feels like a much more professional, accountable, if you will, atmosphere at that the Bears finally have themselves after moving on from Matt Eberflus to Ben Johnson.
It has to be a breath of fresh air. If you can tell as the media member, Carm, the players, it sounds like they must be responding pretty positively to this as well, right?
Yeah, and so I asked that exact question, Jake, hey, what's the difference here between these two? And they go, well, we don't really want to compare, but and they all said intensity. He is making an early impact. From Grady Jarrett, who's 10-year pro with Atlanta's been around, but he's noticing, and same thing with Tremaine Edmonds, and then Kevin Byard, who famously or infamously said last year after the Hail Mary loss to Washington, hey there, Matt Eberflus, did you ever think about covering the sideline? That's how we did it in Tennessee. He was the first one that said, I don't really want to compare, but it's just different right now. So, and use that intensity word. So yeah, no, this is it's going to be a very, very large impact. But then it's also they're hearing him. Are they going to take to his offense? Will the quarterback get there? Still a million questions with the Bears, right?
Always a million questions with the Bears. Mark, the Seth Wickersham book, the quotes about Caleb Williams and his dad and not wanting to go to the Bears, that's just been the storyline for the last couple of weeks. And honestly, I don't think that's going to die anytime soon. As soon as the season starts, people are going to bring that back up. But we haven't heard from Caleb Williams yet in regards to that book and those comments. Is that strange to you that Caleb has not talked since that came out?
Yeah, I thought that he would talk on Wednesday, Kate, when they were there. And, I asked around, like, hey, is he not talking because the Bears didn't want him to talk, or is he not talking because he didn't want to talk? And it wasn't really a clear answer on that. It was more so that he probably wasn't scheduled to speak that day, and they just stuck to the schedule. So, they're back at it next Wednesday with an OTA that the media is allowed to go to. So I would expect that he'll talk then. Maybe he wants to get his ducks in a row, exactly what he wants to say. I'm having a hard time understanding what the end game here was. Like, why would you want to be in a book with Seth Wickersham talking about how you didn't want to be a Bear, but then decided to be a Bear? Like, is that, I don't know, hero type of maneuver? Like, hey, but his decision about it, like, I didn't want to nuke the city.
So then he looks like the hero to the city of, like, he put himself on the line for the city because he didn't want to nuke it, right? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I guess again, like, what were you trying to gain by talking here? And then and by the way, like, for the record, you were right, Caleb. Like, you were very much right that keeping Matt Eberflus as the head coach to try to bring in Shane Waldron to save this in his final year with his job on the line, that doesn't seem like a great plan. Maybe I don't want to go to the Bears. Like, all of that would have been a reasonable thing, right? But there's just so much, as we all know now, there's just the social media train is so much larger than back in the day when guys like, Elway or Manning or, did it, that I guess it's a heavier carry nowadays, if you will, and he just didn't want any part of that. But the other part of it is he's here. They have a new coaching staff. He's excited to be with Ben. Like, that's why I was surprised they didn't talk, right? Like, just put it in the rearview mirror. That was then. This is now. We're moving forward. I'm excited to be here. Done. We'll stop talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine it's probably a little harder to figure out how to politely get up there and say, yeah, well, I was right also.
But wouldn't that be fun? Hey,
I would love it.
Did you see what happened last year? Who didn't know that was coming? Except for apparently Ryan Poles and the Bears. Like, I don't know. I like the concept of having a sense of humor about it. You might as well. Yeah, I was a little nervous about it. Have you seen any winning around here? Last time they won a playoff game, it was 2011. They beat a 7-9 Seahawks team. I wasn't really dying to go to that organization. I don't think, when's the all-time leading quarterback for one season throwing the football hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards. His name is Eric Kramer, and only people in Chicago know that because it's so crazy. The all-time leading receiver played in the 60s, and he had 5,000 yards. Johnny Morris. It hasn't exactly been a winning formula. I'm shocked that Roma Dunze was willing to come here too. That would be kind of funny.
Well, speaking of putting it in the rear view, Carmen, getting past the drama of the offseason, and Bears fans, of course, being super rational and normal about all of that. The win total's 8.5. People are starting to bet the over a little bit. The under is juiced -140, though, but you know what's going to happen because this happens every summer. People are going to get excited about Ben Johnson. The training camp clips are going to start coming out. 8.5 wins? Are we set up for disappointment again? Are we on the train of just 8-9 once again? Which would be an improvement, though.
Yeah, right. Hopefully they won't lose 10 in a row again for all the diehard Bears fans out there. It's hard to imagine that they're not going to be better, right? The offensive line looks a whole lot better with Drew Dahlman at center and the all-pro Joe Thuney signing the extension. That was sweet. And Jonah Jackson, hopefully Darnell Wright is healthy all year long and really owns the right tackle spot. And I think their best bet at left tackle is for Braxton Jones to come back healthy off his ankle injury, but there are other candidates there. So they're better up front. They've added, Luther Burden should be an interesting piece as a rookie wide receiver. Colston Loveland, the tight end, 10th overall. He's super thin right now, guys. I got to tell you, he can't work. He can't lift because of the shoulder injury. So I am a little skeptical that as just immediately as a rookie he'll be able to survive out there because he's going to have to put on, I think, a good 10 pounds of muscle to function in the NFL. But there's just so many more pieces, so you would think. But until I see the quarterback really owning the offense, it's hard for me to pick the Bears to be on the over here. I mean, Caleb's got all the talent in the world, but he just and his numbers were not bad as a rookie. In fact, I would say they were borderline good or even great with everything that was going on. But they're not anywhere close to he's got it. And I think he is going to have to, quote, have it, because I don't think the defense will be elite. I think they'll be good, but not great.
We're talking with Mark Carman, host that covers the Bears over at CHGO, and a little action over at WGN as well.
Brother of the Year award winner, too.
Brother of the Year award winner as well.
Thank you, guys.
Mark, in terms of Caleb Williams' individual stats, 3,541 yards. 300 yards would be wild. That would be
wouldn't be great.
Disappointment. His prop this year, 35.50.5 for his passing yards, 22 touchdowns. If the Bears have success and win games this year, does that automatically translate to Caleb Williams, his stats and his numbers being way elevated compared to where they were last year?
I would think so. Honestly, that's the first time I heard that. His over-under is 35.50.5,
yes.
And then what did he have last year exactly?
He had 35.41.
So plus 9. Is that crazy, or is it just me? Like, you would think it would be up like 300. Am I nuts?
No, you're not nuts at all. It does seem crazy. He had 20 touchdowns, and it's 22 this year.
So that's the skepticism from Vegas that, like, basically
they don't believe quite into the hype that
pause you heard is Carm betting the overs right now. He's opening his Fs right now.
Well, it actually, as a contrarian bettor, it makes me actually want to bet the under, because like. That just seems like an automatic over. Like when Justin Fields' number was 27.50 a couple of years back, like that felt like the biggest layup of all time. Like I'm like, he's going to throw for 2,200 yards, isn't he? And he did. So like that's just interesting. Like, what do they know? I mean, I think there's some level of bet about him not staying healthy when he takes 68 sacks as a rookie. Can he get rid of the ball quicker? And he was doing a lot of the same stuff in OTAs that he did last year in OTAs, which is like oddly running out of bounds on plays where it's just 7-on-7 and they're in shorts, but he's just not seeing anybody open, which I just thought was kind of strange last year, but not a big deal. But now I'm like seeing like, come on, man, throw an interception. Who cares? Like, it's just, fire it at someone, see if they can make a tough catch. So that surprises me. And to answer your question, kid, I do think, like, if the Bears are going to win games, he's throwing for 4,000 yards. I would think that would be an absolute must for them to, hit on 8, 9, 10, win the Division 11 games. He's got to be well over 4,000, you would think.
Which makes those prop numbers even more fishy, to think that the win total is 8.5 and those numbers are where they are. That's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on if those numbers move at all throughout the offseason. But, Mark, we appreciate you, as always, taking the time to join us. Enjoy the holiday weekend with the fam, and I hope you take home the Brother of the Year award.
Thank you, guys. Always my pleasure. Appreciate you having me.
Talk to you soon. That's Mark Carman, host over at CHGO. You can also catch him on WGN here in Chicago. That is really interesting, Caleb Williams' passing yards number. To only have...
The script is in. Unders.
It seriously is. Like, to have
knows.
all of the great draft that they have, to win the offseason again, and you're projected to have 9 more passing yards than you did last year with Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron as your offensive coordinator. But yet you have the best head coach in the market, or the best available from the market last year, and 2 more touchdowns, 9 more yards. Uh-oh. We may have to,
it's over.
We
it's
may
so
have to take
over.
unders on the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, people are betting the win total under. 8.5 under is minus 140.
I mean, I just talked last night with Ryan Horvat on BetMGM tonight that
Lucky
we're
you.
all in on the Bears overs. Ryan thinks they're going to win 11 games. I said I could get to... It's 8.5. Maybe he said double digits. Maybe he said 10. I said I could get to 9, but their schedule's tough. Like, that's a tough schedule.
What stuck out to me, what Carm said really fast, was the Colston Loveland needing to do some work. But those might be some unders there.
That's not a good sign.